Welcome back, everyone, to Grand Tactician, the Civil War. It's July 15th of 1863. We're picking up right where we left off. Let's see what happens today. I am a little bit concerned about this Army of New York that is down here in Florida, but until we see what their intentions are and where they move, there's not a lot we can do about it, especially since we've got our hands pretty full up here. Let's go ahead and dive in. Well, as I mentioned at the end of the last episode, I was fully expecting a battle here with the Army of Tennessee as we work on trying to get these forts built. We've been fighting a lot of battles with this army in this spot, but that's because I'm trying so hard to get these forts built, so we've got a hold here so we can finally get them done. Colonel Archer has recovered from his wounds, so that'll be an availability that we have. We've got about 35,000 men, equal numbers on both sides, pretty similar on guns, but again, we've got the low morale issue that we've got to deal with. It's only one brigade with a total of 205 men, so it must be some artillery. So some excellent news here at the Battle of Bowling Green. We are defending, and we are in a position where we can hold the crossings here at Springfield. So we're going to do just that. I'm going to get everybody into position, holding these crossings. This should be an opportunity to really stick it to him, so long as we are in the right spot. So I'm going to start by throwing... Oh, our Cav's going to actually spot him right off the bat. So that's even better news, because now we know where he is. I'm going to throw one cavalry unit, the Queen's Own Hussars, up here to cover that crossing, and then eventually they can maybe cross and wreak some havoc there. But otherwise, it looks like we are going to dig in right along here. Okay, so I made a few changes. I decided to move right up on him here. I built some parapets right in here. And then I think I'm going to do the same thing over on this side if I'm able to. We're going to dig in. I expect he's probably going to come against us right here, which means we might swing around across this creek to get at him on this side. In fact, I'm going to... the Gordon Brigade's actually got upgrades available, as do the London Volunteers. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm actually going to shift Zollicoffer down so he's ready to be able to do that. So interesting, he was starting to shift this way, and so I'm moving Stand Waddy with the 1st Cherokee Mounted Rifles out there, but now he's moving back in this direction. I'm moving Zollicoffer up to the small creek so he can dig in along the creek bank here. So we've got the Galveston Greenbacks, 1st Tennessee Infantry, Gruber's Guards, and the London Volunteers right there. And then we'll see what he's going to do. I doubt he's going to want to come at me in the center here. There might be an opportunity here with our mounted rifles to go in and hit this artillery, take out a battery while they're moving, as he's trailing in behind there. Oh, now he's going to try to shift around the edge here, in which case we're going to have to shift as well. Okay, we're hitting that battery. Looks like the mounted rifles are going to break. They only lost 100 men, so not a huge deal, but they did take out the battery, so that's the important thing. They'll come back here, they'll recover. Let's rally them. In the meantime, 1st Tennessee Infantry's got the Mississippi Rifles, so they've got that extra long range. I want to give them sharpshooters, because that'll mean that as they fire at that long range, they're going to level that up, and that'll get them to elite status much quicker. Alright, looks like the attack is going to come right here. And once he gets into position, we may move out with these units. Make sure my guns are firing. These guys don't have any line of sight, unfortunately. These ones do. Alright, how's Buford doing? He's right up here on the front lines of things. Galveston Greenbacks will have units coming into their range here very shortly. Gordon Brigade's coming up to get on the line. as is the C4th Brigade. Why do I have a gap there? I shouldn't have a gap there. Let's move these guns up, see if we can get them some line of sight. I'm going to shift Clayton over to get in right here. Stay facing forward, please. Don't use initiative. Stay where you are. Oh, who was wounded? Walker. He's the commander of the Gruber's Guards. It's right here at the center, too. I'm going to give them iron discipline. Okay. We do have a little bit of activity going on over here. Doubletree Widows. Let's mount them up. Oh, Clayton. Face forward, please. He doesn't have line of sight. That's the problem there. Alright, I think so far so good. Yeah, we're inflicting more casualties than we're taking. We hold the objective. Morale's pretty even. Cherokee mounted rifles should recover. We sacrificed their morale in order to take out those guns. Wow, why is he charging in with this lone brigade of 600 men? That seems like a really stupid thing to do. This is where I'm more concerned right now. Gordon Brigade's only lost 5 men. C4th only 47. Galveston Greenbacks have lost 250, but they're doing alright. Tennessee 273. Gruber's Guards, they lost their commander, but they're doing okay. London Volunteers are the ones I'm worried about. They're taking it right now as far as casualties go. My guns are all firing. Alright, so here's what we want to do here. I'm going to send the cav in. I'm going to charge that little brigade there. I'm going to move out of the fortifications and just annihilate this line he's got over here. Because once I get rid of these guns in this one unit, I can swing and turn on these guys here. He's only got 1 brigade of infantry here. And then his artillery's sitting. Oh, he's backing out. He realizes the jig is up. Now that I've turned his flank, he's got nowhere to go. All of that came down to intelligence for us. The fact that we were immediately able to spot where he was at the beginning of this battle made a huge difference. It gave us the initiative that I otherwise would not have had. So that allowed me to set up perfectly for this battle. It might have been a totally different situation if I hadn't been able to do that. So we're going to nail Sumner. Oh, his other units arrived, but it's a little too late now. He needed them earlier. Alright, we inflicted 6,000 casualties, took out 35 guns, only lost 2,200 men and 1 gun. That could not have gone better. That's going to buy us some time now in central Kentucky to get those fortifications and that base of supply finished and allow us to eventually move further into Kentucky. A glorious victory at Fernandina. Atlantic blocking squadron in full retreat, which is fantastic because that's where he has that army, and we just took out his naval support. In the meantime, another army, or is this the same army, just hit me again with the Army of Tennessee. Man, he is bound and determined to fight us there. So what probably happened here is, you know, there's the 1st Corps, 20,000 men. There's another 1st Corps with 12,000 men. And then there's the Army of Occupation, which I'm not sure. I guess he's one of those. So what probably happened was, because we defeated the first part of that army before the other part arrived, now the other part's arriving, so we're going to have to defeat them too. So, okay. Once again, same battlefield. Once again, we've got him spotted right off the bat. This time we're going to sit behind the crossing. We're going to let him come at us, and we're going to do what we do best, which is fight a defensive battle, inflict casualties, and hopefully severely impede his ability to do anything. I do want to look real quick at the condition of his army and when we expect them to arrive, or if they're already all here. Yeah, it looks like they're already all here. So now we watch and we see where he goes. I've got all the crossings covered. Of course, the two crossings over here on the right, I've only got covered with cavalry, dismounted cavalry. So if he does go in strength against any one of those, we may be in a little bit of trouble. But I do have Zollicoffer over here in a place where he can quickly shift in that direction if needed. And it looks like it may be needed. So let's go ahead and start moving Zollicoffer over there with the infantry, just in case he heads that direction. He is sending at least one unit over here to cover my lightly guarded left. He could go all the way up here, but, well, he could cross with pontoon boats up there, so that may be what he's actually doing. In which case, we're going to need to send Zollicoffer's division all the way out here to cover those pontoon crossings. So what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to cross with Buckner and Magruder's divisions, see if we can't drag the tail end of his long battle line here into a position of having to fight here and cause him to rethink what he's doing. It looks like it's working. And that's going to allow me time to get Zollicoffer over there, because it's causing him to rethink exactly what he has to do. That worked out exactly as I'd hoped. It's only 2 o'clock in the morning here. We've got artillery out here all by its lonesome self. So now I'm going to go ahead and tell Zollicoffer to move all the way up and cross. We're just going to try to mess with him and just cause him to rethink what it is that he's doing and get exhausted having to march back and forth. Our artillery's starting to engage now. He's going to come at me with everything he's got here. All right. Argyle Brigade, Seaforth Brigade. The artillery's right up front. I'm not a fan of that. We might have to do something about that. Let's get them moved back. High pressure brigades got their perk now. And they've got these mini 1851s. One of the only units using those. Oh no, get the guns out of there quickly. Alright, I'm going to rush the high pressure brigade up there to try and save the guns. Doubletree Widows are into combat. Let's bring Cherokee mounted rifles over. Alright, it worked. We caused him to break his cavalry against our infantry. Nice job by the high pressure brigade, getting in there just in time to save most of the guns. We only lost a couple of them. We're fighting in town here, which makes things a little challenging. Let's go up and deal with these guns. A lot of cavalry over here. Zollicoffer's getting into position. Hopefully we can draw some of this big bunch here into a combat situation against Zollicoffer. Alright, Tennessee Irish took care of the guns. Nice job. Let's take care of that battery too. Or I guess we already did. Come on, Waddy, what are you waiting on? Get over there. How are the casualties so far? Enemy 1,000, 500 for us. That's good. Let's occupy these buildings. Sending the Argyle Brigade over here to help out with the Doubletree Widows. Who was wounded? Donovan. He's commander of the Doubletree Widows, so they're really taking it right now. Trying to get them help, but it's taking a while. Waddy still hasn't moved. Thankfully, Zolokoffer's finally getting into position. Let's move him up even more. I don't know what stand Waddy is waiting on. Come on, dude. I need you up there. I need you up there now. Capture some of these guns and then move Stovall up to start firing on this battery. Alright, he's starting to really load up now. We're gonna see the Doubletree Widows break before too long. Waddy, come on, dude. Come on, Zolokoffer, you gotta get moving too. Making a stand, Doubletree Widows. Making a stand. Gotta take out these other batteries. What is Gladden doing? Face that way, dude. We can't see these guys at the moment. Alright, I'm gonna move Morgan up. Come on, Zolokoffer, you gotta move faster. Double time. Most of his army's right here. Tennessee Irish have guns firing right into their face. They've got to take those out. They may break in doing this, but I need to disrupt these batteries. Whew. Stand Waddy, for the love of God. What are you waiting on? He absolutely will not move. And Zolokoffer just seems to be taking forever to move. Meanwhile, my left flank is just getting hammered. Why are we losing men over here? Oh, we're being fired on from up here, that's why. Target those guns. Oh boy. Okay. Rebel Sons of Aaron are about to get nailed here. So everything that went right last time for us, okay, it looks like the Doubletree Widows finally broke, is going wrong this time, which is that we were able to disrupt his movement because we were able to get exactly where we wanted to be. This time his movement screwed me up. But if we can get Zolokoffer down here in time, and we can hold the line over here, we'll still be okay. Stan Waddy's losing a lot of men, but he doesn't seem to be doing anything. He's like glitched out or something. I don't know what's going on. But he's being fired on and isn't firing in return. And he's also not obeying any kind of orders. Let's get these guns across. Sam's horse artillery. $4,000 casualties for him, 3,000 for me. Almost even on the morale. We're about to have a problem here, though. At least Standwadi's firing now. Zollicoffer, move! What are you doing? I want to move Beauregard closer so he can get those orders to him a little faster. Zollicoffer's division not being in place is throwing my whole plan off right now. Rebel Sons of Erin are just getting lit up. So is the Argyle Brigade right here. Sem's horse artillery is going to pour it into the 1st Cavalry here. I think Standwadi's going to break before long. Zollicoffer's been completely worthless to me. And it's costing me the battle. Even though we're actually still winning. Stovall just recovered. That's actually going to help a ton. Wade Hampton's lost 1,000 men, the Rebel Sons of Erin. Oh, did he just wipe out that battery? He did. The Sem's horse artillery. Oh. Dang. This is... It's moving toward victory, but it's not been pretty at all. Come on, Stovall. Get up there. Standwadi's breaking. Zollicoffer. Go. Donovan has recovered the Doubletree Widows. We're going to send them in there to try and break this right now, real quick. Come on, hit them. Yeah. Broken again. But we're moving we're shifting things even further, so that's good. My goodness, what a mess. Well, at least he's actually moving towards Zollicoffer, which is going to get him into the fight. We're going to win this thing, but man, those two battles back-to-back really put a hurt on my Army of Tennessee. But we inflicted 10,000 casualties, but again, a loss of 6,700. We can't keep suffering losses like that. Final numbers are in. We lost 8,600 men. We inflicted 16,000 casualties on Henry Halleck's army. Took out half his guns. I lost 34 myself. So great job, but heavy, heavy losses that are going to be difficult to replace for us at another battle there in Bowling Green, Kentucky. But hopefully this finally drives off those armies and we can stabilize the situation in central Kentucky. So the Queen's Own Hussars were really beat up in that battle. In fact, they're down to just 156 men, and John Hunt Morgan is missing in action. So that's unfortunate. By the way, there is a big update coming to the game. I don't know if it's actually arrived yet in beta form, but it's going to allow the specification of financial investments to where you can invest in getting certain types of weapons, for example. So if I want to get more Enfields, I can spend money on actually purchasing more Enfields directly. So it's going to allow a lot more freedom on things like that, which is a pretty exciting thing to have happen. Army of Tennessee is down to just 27, almost 28,000 men. They've got 5,500 disabled. We're going to try to recruit some more replacement units that will allow us to oh, we've got some volunteers available in Kansas, of all places. So I haven't actually talked a whole lot about how I'm doing this, but basically what I do is I have a replacement depot or a replacement division in each corps or each army in which I recruit these units, and then I use those units to reinforce the existing Patreon units, so we can kind of keep them as high on manpower as possible. It's not always easy to do that, but that's kind of what we're trying to do right now. So his army hit me again, and we could have fought another battle, but I deployed to defend. Since we've got a pretty significant manpower advantage, I thought that was the way to do it while we wait for these forts to be finished, which is really kind of my goal here. Organized blockade running. So I mentioned in the last episode that the next thing I wanted to do policy-wise was look for something that was going to help with morale, especially the morale of the armies, which is rather low right now, but I just don't see a lot of options to be able to do that. Financially, we're in a pretty good situation. We could pass the Regulars Act. That'll add some units that I can use for reinforcements, so maybe that's the way to go next. Alright, we're super close. 1 day away from having these forts done, finally. There we go. And we're going to go ahead and get some manpower into those forts now. And that's going to free up the Army of Tennessee to move somewhere else once we've finished off this combat. Checking on the French Expeditionary Corps. They are now as far as Dallas. So maybe by September we start to see them arriving in the area where they can actually make a difference. In the meantime, we're just kind of in a holding pattern here at the moment. Battle of Harrisburg Railroad. Where is that happening? Oh, Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. So the armies of the British are up here right now. It looks like fighting in the Harrisburg area somewhere. Keeping them busy. That's good. But we continue to have... Oh, geez. We got a Union Army of Massachusetts that just came up the river. And they're going to come at Richmond from the south. 14,000 men. All right, we're going to have to do something here. Army of the Kanawha's got 21,000 men. He wouldn't actually try to hit me here, would he? I don't know. We're going to send the Army of the Kanawha down there to hit him. If we can. Disaster at Fort Hubbard. Why did Fort Hubbard surrender? Oh, we don't have any men there, that's why. We were waiting on those units to get recruited in there, but they haven't arrived yet. And now things have shifted dramatically. In his direction. Which doesn't make a lot of sense because I've got a huge army compared to his. We're going to have to fight it out. Alright, this is a meeting engagement. We've got 2-to-1 odds on this. This is an opportunity to destroy the Union armies operating in central Kentucky once and for all. This is our third straight battle with the same units. I apologize if it seems a little repetitive, but we expected that to be the case while we tried to resolve the situation with the forts and while we kind of hold on and wait for the French to arrive. So that's where things are. We're going to move very methodically with the entire army. In fact, I'll just issue orders at the army level. He is going to be probably up in here and going for the same objective that I am. So we'll just move on a wide front in that direction. And when we find him, we're going to try to encircle and destroy him. Okay, Stand Waddy got there first, and we're seeing the Union Army showing up. We did get a notification the Army of the Ohio arrived, but it doesn't appear to have added to our estimated number of men that are on the battlefield. So let's see if Zollicoffer can redeem himself. We're going to put him right in the center on this thing. We're going to try to smash this army. I mean, I want to completely destroy this army so we don't have to keep fighting these battles. He every time we've fought, he hasn't retreated. He's just sat right there, which has been kind of interesting. Queen's Own Hussars is up to 287 men now. I do have reinforcements on the way for that unit. Okay, we're getting into position. London Volunteers are going to take position right here at this fence. Next to them is the 1st Tennessee. Cherokee Mounted Rifles are sitting right there. We're bringing in the guns. Greer's going to hold over here with the Doubletree Widows while we get Magruder into position. I'm going to move Gruber's guards up here with James Archer. Try and hit these guns here as best we can. Oh, Greer just broke. Boy, that didn't take very long. They were in pretty bad shape as far as morale goes already, so it's not a huge surprise. All right, Buckner's finally getting into position here, so let's bring him around. We got a lot of instability here as well with the morale. All right, Archer, take these guns out. It's only got 5 guns there. In fact, charge them. Finish that battery off. Alright, it's already shifting toward minor victory, which means we're going to have to jump all over these guys when we see him start to retreat. Or else we're going to lose the chance to destroy him. I think it's already happening. So I'm gonna charge. I'm gonna get really aggressive here. I want to inflict as many casualties on this army as I can. Let's get them mounted up. Hit them. Hit them hard. I'm pursuing as much as I possibly can here. Not going quite as well as I'd hoped as far as the casualties I'm inflicting. $1,200 to $2,400, so it's about 2 to 1 right now. There's the retreat. Alright, we lost 1,300 men, inflicted 3,100 casualties. We're just wearing Henry Halleck's army down, but I just wish he'd stop attacking me. That's the only thing I care about right now. Alright, we're finally seeing him flee. That's the thing that I've been waiting on. The one corps has not fled yet, but much of the rest of them is finally fleeing. So now we're going to be able to deal with this situation. We'll take Fort Hubbard back. It's only manned by a battery right now. But that's the situation right now. We've only advanced a couple of weeks. Oh boy. Things are ugly right now for the Battle of Fort Woodbury, which is over here, where we've established ourselves in the southwest corner of Kentucky. We're about to see... Oh, the Army of the West has achieved status as an elite unit. We're about to see the French make their way into Arkansas. 37,000 men and 80 guns. What are the British up to? Army of Canada still floating around somewhere in central Pennsylvania. We don't know where exactly. But as long as he's keeping things busy there, we're fine. All right, I want to look real quick at the situation here. National morale, pretty much even. National support's better for him. Morale of the Army is almost identical. We've inflicted 103,000 more casualties on him. Oh no, I'm sorry, that was men fielded. Now he's got 103,000 more. We've inflicted about 70,000 more casualties. We'll see what happens. We're going to wrap it up right there. We'll be back. There's a lot more still to go. Let me know your thoughts. Use the comment section below, and we'll see you soon.